Good morning, everyone, and welcome to the Crypto Insider channel. I am the Crypto Insider, back with another cryptocurrency video from you from the wild and wonderful city of Austin, Texas. I apologize, I was absent yesterday for the big drop. That's probably what everybody's talking about and everybody wants to know about, and we are going to cover it, I promise. I was going to make a video yesterday, and then I got involved in making a video for someone else, a video game thing. And because I'd done a capture of the game while I was playing it, my little laptop that I make these videos on did not like that huge gaming file, and it took forever to encode it. So by the time that was done and I got it uploaded to that other YouTube channel, I was it was probably 1 or 2 in the morning, and I was like, well, I missed it. So I'll just resume making a video tomorrow. So I apologize. If you want to yell at me and call me names, feel free to do so in the comments. I have a pretty thick skin. I might come back at you with a snarky comment here or there, but for the most part, I have a thick skin, and we'll be able to move on from it and recover just fine. What else? Oh, on the screen before you, you'll see the donation I made to the @GoodXRP group. We didn't have any net subscribers since the last video. We may have had 1 or 2, but, we get people that leave occasionally, so it kind of balances out. Some days, you'll have... It depends on the last video. The more views a video gets, the more subscribers you'll get from it, of course. And we're running around 300 or 400 views a video, I think, and we generally get 2 to 5 subscribers a video. If something goes bigger, then of course it gets more. In any case, even though we didn't have any subscribers, we still sent an XRP to @GoodXRP for their charity mission. If we get more subscribers, we will send more XRP to the @GoodSouls group to help them complete their mission and do all the wonderful things they do with the charities listed here. You can go follow any of these tags, and they will tell you they help people rescue dogs, this one, and you can go to their Twitter pages to find out more about those charities. Let's get into live cryptocurrency prices. In the last hour, it looks like things had started to come back from the red. We had the big pullback, and man... I had a hunch, a feeling that we were going to have a big pullback this weekend, and even to the point where I was considering shorting XRP to increase my position in it, but I didn't do that because I just converted a bunch of XRP into other positions last week. I told you in a video I bought some Tezos and I bought some Link. And so I didn't want to spend even more XRP. I wanted to keep my bag pretty full. So I didn't short it. I wish I would have. And I hate trading on a hunch, too. I hate doing something on a hunch. I will do it occasionally. And it would have worked out had I done it and bought back in, at 27 cents. I probably would have increased my bag quite a bit. Let's take a look at the prices, though. Bitcoin dominance has climbed 1% with this drop, but still Bitcoin sitting at 9,600. It's a big fall from 10.3. It's almost down $1,000 from a few days ago. In the past hour, some of the alts have begun to pick up. XRP is up 1.12%. Ethereum's up 0.85%, but still we've had a significant drop. We're sitting at $0.28 or 28 cents on XRP, $256 on Ethereum, and it was at about 280. The charts diverge a little bit. They're not exact. Bitcoin Cash it looks like it's following Bitcoin somewhat pretty well. I mean, the drops kind of correspond on the charts, but they're not exact copies. The only thing that really weathered the storm fairly well, I think, was Chainlink. Still down 6.7% from yesterday, but up 2.38% in the past hour, 2.64% it just changed in the last hour. Chainlink's been a very strong performer, and if I understand the coin right, it's sort of a blockchain that helps various systems integrate with them, integrate as sort of a middleware. It kind of becomes the heart of a system, and you can connect two legacy systems together that otherwise might require a lot of work. So I think that's what it does. If I'm wrong on that, you can go ahead and correct me in the comments. I don't do a lot of research into some of these alts, just enough that to where I decide, oh, I'll put some money in, or I won't put some money in. Whoa, what's up 19%? HBAR. Oh, good. I just bought a big position, not a big position. I think I bought 1,300 HBAR last week. I don't know if I'm up or down in that position, but HBAR is very interesting to me because of a few things, and I'll tell you what they are. The last big news was that Google has joined their governance council, which is a huge corporation, but even before that, Boeing had joined and FIS Global had joined. In FinTech, FIS Global is a huge monster. If you use your credit card, if you schedule a payment, if you do anything in banking, chances are it's going to touch one of FIS Global's servers at some point. So when I heard that they were jumping on the board of governors with HBAR, it became very interesting to me. Because if they as opposed to Ripple, if FIS Global was to make a solution using HBAR, we're not talking about rolling it out to 35 banks over a couple of years. We're talking about 35 banks a month for the next 5 years. That's just how ingrained they are and how many doors that they can open. So I definitely wanted to get into HBAR, at least to get a minor position, because I think I don't know that it's going to dethrone anybody, but I think it's definitely going to move up the list higher than it is, with the just from name recognition alone. Let's look at our technical analysis over the past hour, up 2.05%. We're still only down 0.06% on the week. Hopefully we're going to make up some of this 5% gain. Up on 30 days. And we're starting to see some overboughts in the oscillators down here. These change very rapidly, and they lag behind a little bit of the actual trading action. But the moving averages are all green, and we will keep an eye on the price as it goes. I don't think these levels are going to be as much of a challenge as they were. Once you break a resistance level, it doesn't have the psychological weight that it used to have. So if there's upward price action, I think we'll go right back through 29 cents, right back through 30 cents, up until, we hit 33. What was the highest we hit? Was it 33? Oh, 34.6. 8, it looks like right here. So we should be able to get back to that level with a minimum of frustration, in my opinion, but we'll see. One thing I wanted to point out, some of the articles today that I'm going to do for you are negative articles surrounding XRP or the crypto space, or that I think are unnecessarily negative. And I saw this on Twitter. Somebody was sharing it in the XRP community. MoneyGram shuns Ripple in latest settlement product. MoneyGram has pushed out a new service called FastSend, but it is elected for Visa over XRP by Tim Copeland. MoneyGram has launched a new service called FastSend. Will offer payments using the Visa network. XRP won't be involved in the product. Money transfer service MoneyGram launched a speedy remittance service for its customers called FastSend on Thursday, but it's missing something that will disappoint Ripple fans: XRP. According to Cointelegraph, the service will run using Visa but not Ripple technology or its cryptocurrency XRP. Ripple is a financial services company that offers blockchain solutions for making faster cross-border payments. Of course they are. The weird part is that Ripple purchased a $50 million stake in MoneyGram on the premise that it would start using for XRP for cross-border transactions. And it has started to use Ripple. In August, MoneyGram CEO Alex said on its quarterly earnings call that MoneyGram had been making transactions on the XRapid platform. Well, I guess it's on-demand liquidity now. He added at the time that it had shown a number of benefits, particularly with the speed of transactions. I'm going to have some coffee. Hold on, it's coffee time. I'm going to mute the mic. Thank you for bearing with me there. So, let me, I'm not going to read this whole article word for word, but it doesn't, who was expecting MoneyGram to only use XRP? First of all, they can't use XRP everywhere they would like to because the corridors aren't built out everywhere yet. Secondly, it makes no sense. It would make no sense for any money transfer company to put all their eggs in the ODL basket. They've only been using the solution for less than 6 months. They should absolutely have other corridors or other ways of completing their mission statement that don't result in a single point of failure. At no time did I expect Ripple's XRP or ODL to be the only solution that MoneyGram is using. Not at all. So they're probably they probably use Swift in some cases still. They're probably going to use this Visa product. They're probably going to continue using ODL. We still see the volume shooting up on the liquidity index bot. I haven't checked it today. But it's not slowing down any because of MoneyGram. That's for sure. We're hitting new highs with the liquidity index spot on every ODL quarter, just about every other day. So I haven't seen that slow down. And when I do see that slow down, that would be a bigger indicator for me than this story that, oh, MoneyGram has an alternative method to send cross-border payments. Of course they do. They would be stupid not to. Probably the first good decision MoneyGram has made in quite a while. So I'm not worried about this story in the least. Ultimately, MoneyGram, once all the ODL corridors are built out, they probably will continue growing their volume on there as well. So I wouldn't worry about this story. Certainly not yet. Not until it had some fundamentals behind us. All of the stuff I'm reading here, is speculation. There's a few facts of, okay, they're using this new solution, but there's no real volume metrics or anything like that. It's just, and people get scared real fast. So I'm doing this article because I saw it on Twitter. Somebody was like, oh, it's the end times are here because of this MoneyGram story. Not at all. Not at all. And in my opinion, remember, I am not a financial analyst, certified financial planner, registered investment advisor. I am, none of these things. I am just a guy that's worked in the fintech space for a long time and, trying to relay my take on some of these news stories to you as I get them. All right, this next one comes from Cointelegraph by Alan Scott. Bitcoin price falls to 9,600 amid bloody Sunday for XRP, Ethereum, and altcoins. Yeah, it was a bad Sunday. I must have found something in this article. We know that it fell, so I'm not going to read the whole article. Well, we get the retracement, commented regular Cointelegraph Markets contributor Michael Vandy Pope. He continued, retracement is harsh on some of those altcoins, but it's also providing opportunities. He doubts we will see 9,400 though. Probably not. If we look at it again, where was it? 9,600. So we're growing in the last hour. It did not hit 9,400. I'm a hodler because I believe in the fundamentals of the XRP product. That's basically how I would describe myself. When it comes to holding on for dear life, it is way harder to do when the price is increasing than when the price is dropping, because once that price goes up, a mistake a lot of novice investors, novice traders will make is getting out too early. And I did it myself back in the early Bitcoin and Ethereum days. Ethereum got to $40 and I'm like, "Ooh, I bought these for 7. Look at the money I've made." And I cashed out a good deal of my position. And if I had it now, or had it when Ethereum had hit $1,200, I would be um, sitting pretty now. But these are the mistakes. These are the things you do when you're learning how to trade this stuff. Um, okay, so uh, in other words, don't get worried just because there's a retracement. I don't know. Everybody listening to this channel is in a different place in their cryptocurrency journey. If you're new to it, this past weekend probably scared the crap out of you. But for us that have been in it a while, we just sort of roll our eyes and wait for the markets to come back. And you can see today they're already starting to come back some. So there's no reason to take the high ledge and jump off. But again, be smart about what you do. I never invest more than I can afford to lose, and you know, I try to be sort of conservative with it. All right. The last article is from Forbes, and it's another crappy article from Forbes. Hello, Billy Bambro. Bambro. Bloated Bitcoin as significant U.S. crypto crackdown suddenly revealed. And the reason why I want to point this out is, well, I'll tell you as we get into it. The U.S. Bitcoin and cryptocurrency community has had a rough week and its future is looking bleak. This week, Treasury Secretary Steve Mnuchin, I can never say his word, Mnuchin, warned significant new Bitcoin and cryptocurrency regulations are on their way. Minneapolis Federal Reserve President Neil Kashkari branded cryptocurrencies a giant garbage dumpster, and the Department of Justice called Bitcoin mixing a crime. First of all, Steve Mnuchin's been saying there's been significant new regulations are on their way for quite a while. It's not like something just broke this week and this is somehow new information. I don't care what a Minneapolis Federal Reserve president says. If you look at the political process of becoming a Federal Reserve president, these are guys that aren't quite bright enough to actually get jobs in Washington, D.C. most of the time. Or there's somebody, they're owed a job or they've, it's a very corrupt process to become a Federal Reserve president. The Board of Governors, they do hire an outside firm who supplies a list of candidates, but there's a lot of backdoor of who went to Harvard, who went to Yale, and whose cousin's judge is owed a favor when this sort of stuff is decided. And they can get away with that more in the Federal Reserve world because it's not exciting. People aren't really watching who the Federal Reserve president of Minneapolis is. Now, I'm not saying there was some skullduggery or corruption with this Neil Kashkari getting this job. I'm not going to say that outright, but I will say that it's it's a good old boys club, and chances are he knew somebody, in my opinion. And the Department of Justice called Bitcoin mixing a crime. Okay. Again, this is the whole this paragraph here is the whole reason why Ripple and Coinbase are teaming up to sort of talk to legislators before people like this, who probably have ill-formed opinions, are coming out and influencing them. However, the news has failed to much move the Bitcoin price, which remains up almost 50% since the beginning of the year. And that was my other point of talking about this Forbes article, because even even all this stuff happened didn't actually move the price. So you can see how seriously the market is taking this stuff. They're taking it about as seriously as I'm taking it. And yeah, there was a drop, but it had nothing to do with any of this stuff. My guess is it's probably just fundamentals and things pulling back. People taking profits probably had way more to do with it than Neil Kashkari, Federal Reserve President in Minneapolis. So, you're seeing some of these negative articles come out. I just let's do another quote here from Kashkari. The reason the dollar has value is because the U.S. government has a legal monopoly on producing the dollar. Speaking at a Montana event, after being asked whether he would want his 1-year-old daughter to be gifted a treasury bond or a Bitcoin for her next birthday. I know which one I'd take. In the virtual currency and cryptocurrency world, there are thousands of these garbage coins out there. Literally, people have been fleeced for tens of billions of dollars, and finally the SEC is getting involved in cracking down on this. Well, I don't know how many thousands of literally, people have been fleeced for tens of billions of dollars. Is it really tens of billions of dollars? I mean, the whole crypto market cap is only 300 billion. So I think he's over exaggerating that statement. And your average investor doesn't have billions of dollars to invest. People that have gotten fleeced, probably from a few shady ICOs and exchange hacks. Yeah, people have definitely lost some money. I won't disagree with that. I will also say there are thousands of these garbage coins out there. He's absolutely right there, Mr. Kashkari from Minneapolis. And Brad Garlinghouse has even said this. He expects something like 99% of altcoins to disappear that don't have utility. So the challenge is picking out which ones you think are going to survive. So he's not saying anything that most of us in the crypto space here do not agree with. I will say, though, if I was going to be gifted, I would rather have a Bitcoin than a U.S. Treasury bond. Right now, if somebody said, I will give you one or the other, I will take the Bitcoin. Elsewhere, departments of justice prosecutors this week branded Bitcoin mixing software designed to mask the origin of Bitcoin transactions money laundering. Really? I don't see how they, in the indictment of Larry Harmon, who was this week arrested for his alleged involvement in a money laundering conspiracy worth more than $300 million, the Department of Justice referred to Harmon's Helix software as a money transmitting and money laundering business. I think it depends on the intent. Before you can call something money laundering. If for some reason you're masking and mixing and trying to obfuscate your Bitcoin transactions, and then you're buying laundry detergent and groceries at the end point, nobody's going to care. Of course, nobody's going to go through that trouble for laundry detergent and household goods. So, but I would be suspicious of I wouldn't just come out with a blanket statement that anybody using the software is laundering money. The Bitcoin and cryptocurrency regulatory landscape in the U.S. has long been found stifling by the new crypto industry, with some choosing to more favorable regions such as Switzerland. That doesn't make sense. With some choosing to more favorable regions such as Switzerland. I don't know, that sentence, I don't like it. My brain does not like that sentence. Everyone in the know is already well aware of Europe's clear guidance on crypto custody, exchange licensing, rules for issuance of payment, utility, and security tokens. Again, this is just to create a whole industry for people's cousins and people that went to school but may not be smart enough or good enough to become a politician. You got to have your licensing boards and regulators, people sitting on boards that probably have no business being there, just to keep everyone employed with something to do. Social media giant Facebook, which last year revealed that it will launch its own cryptocurrency in 2020, opted to base its independent governing Libra Association in Switzerland. I'll have to look at that. I really have not paid much attention to Libra except to notice how stunned Mark Zuckerberg was when he got the pushback uh, in front of whatever board he went in front of. Because Libra didn't interest me. It doesn't seem, I don't think Facebook is going to allow a truly decentralized currency. It looks like it's going to be a really, really walled garden, and at least that's how I thought of it, and it didn't interest me in being something that I would actually want to invest my money in. I'll look at it again if it ever looks like it's going to go through. I don't think it has. I think they had some issues. But these stories are negative, or at least have a negative tone to them for really no reason, in my opinion. Nothing significantly negative has happened to XRP, to Bitcoin, or any of these other altcoins. Um, we all knew regulation was coming because, regulators regulate, legislators legislate. That's what these people do. It's their job. Um, and in some cases, it'll be welcome because it'll give institutions a foot in the door to say, okay, we can do this now without being worried of running afoul of this or that regulation or law. So that is why a lot of the cryptocurrency reluctantly wants regulation, just because they know it's going to help sort of grease the wheels of getting the machine running better than it is anyway. Hopefully, that's the intent. But it all depends. If they come out and stifle with regulation, which I don't know that they will. But, we'll have to see what comes out of those talks. I am cautiously optimistic. I am no more bearish or bullish on XRP than I was 3 days ago. A little pullback does not worry me. We'll see what happens with the price. In any case, I'm going to pop up some videos on the screen for you to continue your crypto insider journey, and I appreciate all of your viewership and subscribership. Remember, if you do subscribe, we will make a donation on your behalf to the At Good Souls group. And yeah, we'll see you tomorrow.